is Wyatt Pearson. I am in Mr. Wright's class, period 5, and this is my video critique of The Long Rain. It's one of the 18 short stories that are in The Illustrated Man, and it is personally my favorite, and I'll show you why. So, in only 11 pages, Ray Bradbury successfully made this story with 4 different characters. One of them dies off early. 4 characters and a conflict that isn't scientifically accurate, but scientifically interesting. Don't quote me on that. And he does it in such a short amount of time that I am just baffled, and I personally would have loved to see it more. The characters that we have is, we got the lieutenant. The lieutenant is the leader of the group, will do anything for his men to continue on. We've got Simmons, an upbeat, knowledgeable soldier that is under the lieutenant's judgment, rule, I guess. We got the unnamed man, depressing, right? Imagine not being named. And then we got Pickard. Pickard is a pessimist, and honestly, just points out all the terrible things that are happening, keeps it real, I guess. Conflict of the story. It's, the characters are on Venus, and in Venus, it doesn't stop raining. It's just continue downpour, and there's actually only one continent, and on this continent, everything is just white. The trees are white, the men turn pale just because of the rain. The constant beat down of the rain just makes everything pale and takes the color out of everything. Just depressing. And the men have been on Venus because they crash landed for 30 days. So they've been, before the story even starts, they've been there for 30 days in this unending rain, seeking to find shelter or food. They had enough food originally for what they were trying to do, but now they're running out, and they have to find these sun domes. So, I'm sure everyone has played Monopoly. It's like the railroads, you're trying to get the railroads. These men are just trying to find shelter. They're trying to roll and navigate their way to these sun domes. These sun domes have food, shelter, and this this small sun kind of just in the middle. It creates warmth and is quite helpful. So Lieutenant is in the front, and then all the other men trail behind. So let's roll, okay? Alright, we got 5. Starting, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did land on the railroad. The men follow in pursuit. They don't need to roll, they're just following their captain, their lieutenant. So they don't find this, they don't find this sun dome. Just because it's so hard to find anything, right? Just give it another roll. Right, it is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. They found a sun dome. There now. Let me show you on the camera. That is a railroad right there. But in this case, it's a sun dome. They finally find one. But it's been raided. It's not, it's, the ceiling has been broken by these Venetians, which are like these once human, now animals, I guess, that just ravage and try and kill any humans that are on Venus, because they need food, I guess. I don't know. This finding the sun dome, right? They traveled all this way to find a sun dome. Boom, it's not there. It's it's crushing. It's soul crushing. So men start to lose their minds. The unnamed man, on the way, he got so scared. There's a lightning storm. He was instructed to lay down. He was too scared, so he tried to run up. Boom. Got struck by lightning because he was apparently the highest point. Back to the sun dome, we've got Pickard. Use the wrong iron, people. Pickard, he goes insane. The rain numbs down your senses. So, I imagine I just had rain constantly on my arm. Now I can't feel my arm. I can move it, but I can't, if someone does that, I didn't feel it. That's what happened. That's what's happening to these men. They're losing their sense of touch and sense of life, really. So, Pickard, face up, starts, his mouth is open, he just lays there. He's out in the rain, he's just laying there. He's lost his mind, his eyes are dilated. He's not. So we've got Simmons has a gun. He spares Pickard by shooting him. He isn't dying a painful, long way. It's instantaneous. So now we just have Simmons and the lieutenant. They go on, right? They're traveling, but again, they're all losing their minds. Simmons is next. He doesn't want to continue on and doesn't want to find another sun dome just for it to be destroyed. So he turns out he loses his sense of hearing, and now he's given up. So he sits on this rock and tells the lieutenant, "I'm not moving. You can go ahead, and I will not shoot myself until you are out of sight." Until you are out of sight. The lieutenant doesn't want to leave Simmons, but knows that he's not budging. This is final. So finally, the lieutenant does leave Simmons. Later on, probably 5 miles later, he finds a sun dome. Lieutenant finds a sun dome. Boom. It's not destroyed. It's perfect. It has everything. Some might argue that this is a hallucination. I believe it is not. I choose to believe it's not, because that would mean that it doesn't mean it's a happy ending, and I will like a happy ending. So he finally finds a sun dome, and that's how the story ends. He's gotten to his destination. He's safe. He's free. There was a lot of death on the way there, and maybe this story was a short look at life in general. You start off with a bunch of good people, some more negative than others, and they slowly fall off. They not necessarily die, but they aren't with you anymore. It could be seen as that, but I choose to take it as continue to persevere. Perseverance got the lieutenant where he needed to go. Now, Simmons was also persevered. He persevered many times, but at the time that got to his destination. Not right before, but before he got to his destination, he gave up. He was done, and he would have gone insane if he found another sun dome that was destroyed. Anyways, that is my summary / critique. In my opinion, everything was great about it. It was a great story. It had great dialogue. I didn't talk about that in this, but it had great dialogue and meaning behind the words that were said. And I give this book about an 8 out of 10. It was great. It was perfect, good, short read. Again, only 11 pages, which is crazy. Also, let's look at this chance card. Make general repairs on all your properties. The government could have made more sun domes for it to be easier for the men to find the sun domes, but they didn't. So maybe you could also take that away. Spend money on the people that are doing jobs for you, government. And that is 12 minutes. Thanks for watching.